Clojure If Do When. This is the video where we go into this and actually go through how to actually do these if sentences. If you come from Java, then you would have if then else, of course, or you would have the curly brackets, of course, instead of these things. So there are actually some changes and some things that will that will puzzle you a bit, especially when you come to if that you can only have one statement for what should happen if something is true, and that is why we have the do. But I'll show you all of this in this video right here. So first of all, I have this. So I've set up Clojure. Just watch some other videos on how to set up Clojure and inside IntelliJ. I have a main function right here. And but that's just for convenience. I can press play and then I can run these scenarios right here. This is the documentation string. If you're not familiar to Clojure, then you can add a documentation string for each function like this. And this is the arguments that you have right here. And the minus main part, that's just because it shows that it's something that you can run. Just like the public static void main if you're from Java. These are the functions that I want to call. Every time you see round brackets, then it's because I'm calling something. So right here, I'm calling demo if truthness and demo if do and demo when. And let us start with if truthness, because first of all, we need to know when things in Clojure are true and when they're false. The rules are actually quite easy. If it's false, then it's false. If it's nil, then it's also false. In all other situations, then it's actually true. So that means that if I run this code right here, you can see here I have this is my function. And I'm testing whether it's true or false up in this function right here. I'm defining a function with def n, define function, and then then the name can be whatever. And in this situation right here, we are if the value is true, then we return the string true branch. If it's false, then we return false branch. And as you can see right here, there's only room for one statement right here. Of course, you can call a function right here, and you can also call a function right here. You don't have to just return strings. In Clojure, then the last statement is actually what your function will return. So we don't have it in the function signature. The function signature does not contain the return type. And that is why we can then return something like this. So we can print something like this if true, and then we can call our function truthy or falsy, and then we can give the boolean true and the boolean false, the nil value, a number and a string, an array and a map, and also the set. Yes, the set and the list right here. Yes. So that is all quite cool, and I've already run the program, so I can just scroll down. I can just see the output right here. So if you want to run it, it's quite easy. You just press the play button in the IntelliJ. You can also press Control Shift F10 if you want to see what actually goes on. Then you can scroll up to the top, the first line. Here you can see the Java command which is actually being run. All of this Clojure code is actually being compiled into memory, and then the Clojure jar is being called after that with some arguments that shows which main function that we want to run. But dig into that if you find that interesting. Right here we have the first part of the demo right here. So we're calling if we give it a true value, then of course it's also true. If false, then it's false. If nil, then it's also false. And besides that, then all of the values that we give them are true. So the only way to get a false in Clojure is to use the false boolean or to use nil value. And that is actually quite useful, especially with a nil value, because if something is nil, then you can just avoid going into some part of your code with the if statement. So, okay, let us try the next one, demo if do. As I said before, and just in the beginning, was that the if function only takes, it can only do one thing, one statement. If you want to do multiple things, then we'd use do. So here we have another function. This is demo if do. And so we have demo if do right here, and then we are printing out stuff right here. That is the first line. So we just Yeah, so we'll be printing out what's actually happening, just to give, so we get a header. So we get a header right here. So we get this header right here. Next thing is that then we're going to let temperature and 32, and then we say if greater than, and then temperature and 30. So that means that if we are greater than, if the temperature is greater than 30, this is how you, this is how it's done in Clojure. Right here we are defining the temperature to be 32, and then afterwards, then we are still in the scope of this let call right here. Then we say if the temperature is greater than 30, then we do multiple things. We do two things. So we have a do right here. Inside the do, then you can do multiple things right here. Here we say the true branch can print a message, and I can do more than one thing with do, and then we are actually returning a value which is hot. So we are calling two things. So this is actually then our program actually continues. So this is in Java. The correspond, if you use a curly bracket in Java after your if statement, then this is the same thing that we do here. We can call multiple things. And we can also have multiple do's actually. So no, sorry, yes, of course this is the false. So this is the false branch. So after this is the true branch that we have right here, and then we have the false branch right here. So that is, if it's false, then we call all of the things that we have right here. And again we can have multiple lines, as many lines as we want to, and then we can return something in the end if we want to. And again, it's optional. We don't have to return anything if we don't want to. So then we have, another example right here. We are setting this variable right here is admin. We set that to false, and then we say result. We call result, and then we say if is admin, then we do this and this and this, and then we're printing out. The result. With these with the let functions right here, we can actually set multiple variables. So we are setting multiple variables. We are both setting is admin. We are also setting the result to either allowed and denied. And do not be afraid of these colon. It's just if you have a keyword in Clojure, so it's a bit like it's not exactly like it's not an enum like we see it in Java, but it's like if you have a string which is always the same, then you can use a keyword. It's used a lot for maps, for the key values in maps, but you can just optional to use these keywords right here. You can also use strings instead, of course. It gives kind of the same result. So then we have in the end here, then we are printing out print line result from if do. And then we print out the results that we got right here. And with all the let statement right here, it ends right here. So this is where we are. Yeah, so we have the let statement right here. This is where we're defining and setting our variables. And then the next part right here, that is where we are using our variables. And then the whole circus, it stops right here. So after this round brackets that we have right there, then those variables are not cannot be seen anymore. So that is the scope. That is how to scope the variables in Clojure. Okay, Mike, what about when? So why do we use when? We use when that's only a true branch. So it runs in the body. It runs the body only when the condition is true. So then we can say when it is true, something is true, and then we can run all of these things right here. So it's if you want something like if, but you don't need the negative situation. You don't need the situation where is logged in is false because we're not doing any code in that situation. Then you would use when. So it's a bit cleaner to use when because the developer already knows that there's actually not a false situation, or we're not doing anything. We're just ignoring it if it's false. Again, right here we are defining some variables. We are setting when to false, and also we set result. We set result to when false. Then we call something out right here, and then we return a keyword which is named finished. So that means the result will be set to finished when false. But this means that this will never be reached, and I call this code right here. And then we print out result from false when result, and then we can see the result in output afterwards. So let us see that right here. Then we have some other examples of when right here. So we have when 0, And then again, this is true because we saw that in the first example right here. Everything is true if it's not nil or directly false. So if and when, and this is always true. So then we should expect the output. 0 is truthy, and again with the empty strings are truthy. Yes, nil is falsy. Okay. So if we go look at the output right here. So first of all, let us look at the when demo that we have right here. So the do, we want to see the if do right here first, right here. The true branch can print a message. It can do more than one thing with do. None at the admin branch selected, and result from if do denied. Okay, and that is actually what we would expect. So that is quite lucky right here. So when we do multiple, we do something right here. We can do multiple. We can run multiple things right here, and we also have a false version right here, if it is false, and in this situation right here, it is actually false. If is admin is actually false, because we actually set it to false just before. Yeah. So let us look at the when demo output right here. We get the when user is logged in. So let us so we can follow the code right here. So we have when right here. So we say the user is logged in. Let's see if we can find that. That is if it's true, and we know it's true because we just set it to true right here. And of course, I could just try to set it to false if we want to see that we don't get the output. We can do that when we're done. And again here, so we say when when can run multiple expressions without do. Yes, so true, so true. And again, we see the output right here. When can run multiple expressions without do. Results from false when nil, and that's a very good point actually. We're only using do with if, not with when. Result from false when nil, and then we can see a result from false when nil, and that is because this code has never been called, or this code down here has never been called, because when false, that means that it is actually false, so the code is actually not being run. That's how when works. And that means that the result is then nil. So that is the default value. If you might be familiar with null in Java. So in Clojure it's nil. But it's a slightly more different because in Java, if you didn't assign any value to a variable, then of course it would not. Then it would be unassigned. It would not even be null. Here in Clojure it is nil per default. So then we have when 0, and then again here we get the expected output. We get the expected output right here. And then we get nil in the end. When nil is falsy. And because this is false, that means we're actually not writing out, we're actually not printing out nil is falsy because it is false. So of course it does not, it does not print that out. So there's actually no return right here, and that means that it went nil, and then it actually also prints out nil again. Yes, thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for all of your comments as usual. It is a lot of fun to play around with Clojure. It's very much different from Java. It's a lot different from actually anything I've tried before. So yeah, it's a pleasure to play around with. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again soon, and thank you for being you. Bye bye.